This is Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com. I hope you enjoyed this Critical Thought, your daily discussion on game design. Hello and welcome to today's Critical Thought. As always, thank you to now 933 subscribers here on YouTube. Hope everyone's enjoying the content, and for you first-timers, be sure to like and subscribe as we are getting very close now to 1,000. Because this Critical Thought's going up a little bit late, I'm going to give everyone one more day to get their vote in for the 900 Let's Play. Your choices are once again between a play of Fez, Aquaria, or Bastion. Leave a vote on any of the Critical Thoughts, and you'll have until Wednesday, November 23rd at midnight for the final tally. If no one breaks the tie, then I'll just make a decision myself. This week, it's supposed to be a time for relaxing with Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and all that good stuff. And I made the foolish mistake of scheduling 3 casts in a row. So, we have some very interesting discussions, and I'm sure my voice will be dead by Black Friday. For today's topic, I want to talk about persistence mechanics, or persistence systems in game design. A while ago, I used the term meta game design to describe this, but as we've seen, metagame now refers to, again, the scope of a game or the rules or guidelines that have been defined by the player base. Persistence mechanics range in their level of complexity. At its simplest, it can simply be a win-loss record that gets carried over from different plays in any kind of online or competitive-based title. At its most complicated, these are systems that are designed to, well, essentially give a sense of persistence to playing this game. Something that becomes unlocked or grow with the player as they keep playing the title. And there are a lot of different examples of this. We have the different builds you can have in Payday 2, the talent and rune pages of League of Legends, and what I've been currently playing, the perk system of Killing Floor 2. And of course, I have to mention the whole metagame, or I'm sorry, the whole persistence mechanics of the Call of Duty multiplayer. These are all systems that are designed to give a sense of permanence to games that are built around quick matches or not really that sense of replayability. So we're not talking about games like MMOs, where you're going to be spending a whole lot of time with a character. We're talking about games that the initial play could maybe be 3 minutes, it could be 10 or 15, but things carry over, or there's something that remains with your character or with the player over the course of how many different plays. Of course, Overwatch and Team Fortress would be other examples of this. Like I said, at its most simplistic level, we can simply just say any kind of win-loss rate that gets attached to a player's account. For those of you who didn't grow up playing the shooters of the 90s, pretty much multiplayer was simply fire and forget. You have your fun with your friends, and then everything gets wiped to zero. And as we entered the end of the 90s into the early 2000s, we saw more of the online community, more of the online record keeping starting to take hold. And of course, Killing Floor 1, which I believe was released in, I think, 2004, 2005, though I'm not 100% sure. I know it was originally an Unreal mod, has also that sense of permanence with the perk system and things along those matters. Now, for today's post, or today's video, I want to focus on persistent systems that add or change elements of the game design. So this would be things, again, like the builds in Payday 2, perks in Killing Floor 2, that kind of thing. Even though items like in Team Fortress 2 are sort of counting along those lines, they're not as affecting as what we want to talk about. When it comes to persistence mechanics along these fronts, I'm referring to games where, as the player continues playing the game, they're going to unlock content or improve their characters in ways that affect subsequent plays. This is how, essentially, the game goes from beginning, middle, and end, or, short, mid, and late game, and the player's character will be fundamentally, or at least in a play style, different than what they were when they first played. And of course, this refers to abstracted base progression. In these types of games, it doesn't matter if you start the game as the world's greatest Payday 2 player, world's greatest Overwatch, no, well, not Overwatch, World's Greatest Killing Floor player, stuff like that. It's the abstracted progression that's going to affect your character. And when it comes to persistent mechanics like these, there is usually a right and a wrong way to do it, and it's how they're used to grow the player. The big no-no you want to avoid with persistence mechanics are what I like to call pure upgrades, or we can simply use upgrade here. And what I'm referring to are upgrades that are not choices. They are 100% always good. You never are going to not want them. It's like deciding between, would you like to walk 1.5 times faster, or would you like to do 500% more damage with all your weapons? Which one would you choose in a first-person shooter? Pure upgrades like this are examples of bad design because they're not choices. They're essentially giving the player a bonus and punishing players if they don't have it. This is where the meta game comes back into play, where players will basically say, if you don't have X, Y, and Z, then we don't want you on your team and you're banned. And this is the problem with these kinds of pure upgrades. They don't really add choice to the game, they simply limit it. If you have, let's say you have a skill tree, and there's 3 skills on that tree that all give you a flat upgrade to your damage, why would you not go for those specific skills? And again, if you're playing a game where damage is king, then you're basically hurting yourself and you're hurting your teammates if you don't take them. And to talk a little bit more of an actual example of this, we have 2 games I just mentioned, Payday 2 and Killing Floor 2. Both have shown examples of persistence mechanics and sort of the right and wrong way to do it. And I'll start with Payday 2 because they actually have corrected this. Now, as you know, I've spoken about Payday 2 in the past, and they have certainly changed the game over the last 2 years. In the original formation of their class trees, or their skill trees, there were skills on there that were always good. These were skills that they didn't really define your build, but were required by it. Skills that give you just a flat increase of headshot damage, a skill that lets you answer more pagers, skills that let you carry more ammo or collect more ammo, any skills that simply give you more health. Again, these are skills that in a game about running around shooting cops and not getting arrested are very important skills to have. And it got to the point where either you took those skills or you were punishing yourself and your teammates if you didn't take them. And what Overkill saw and what we knew was these were not choices. Everyone was taking these skills. They were both too good, and it was just simply not an option not to take them. And this is a major component of game design, or making interesting games. And for any would-be or current designers, take note of this part. You should never have a choice that is always perfect. If you have something that is 100% always viable, always great, you must have it, then it's not a choice, and it's simply hurting your game to have something along those lines. So, Overkill still wanted the player to feel like they're growing, to feel like they are becoming progressively more powerful as they played, so they came up with an alternative. They created the perk deck system. The perks are a collection of passive bonuses tied to specific effects. You have the Sociopath perk deck, the Yakuza, Grinder, Mastermind, you name it. And here's what they did. All the odd number perks in a set, I want to say 7 perks per deck. All the odd number ones were related to the perk deck in question. So 1357 had Unique Enforcer, or I forget the actual name, it's been a few days since I played, or Unique Armorer skills, Unique Yakuza, Unique Infiltrator, stuff like that. These are the ones that define that perk deck. And then the even number perks are universal for each perk deck, and all of these perks were the bonuses that were attached to the skill trees before they adjusted the skills. So when you got, I think, 2 gets you, I think, plus headshot damage. 4, I think, was increased ammo. 6 was maybe increased health, and I am just throwing those out. I don't remember them off the top of my head. But the point being was that those skills that were not choices and were simply pure upgrades, Overkill just folded those into normal progression. So the player still got the ability to feel powerful, but they were no longer punished for not taking them. And the pager example, where you could answer 4 pagers, that skill was simply given to everyone for free. You didn't even need to choose that anymore. Because again, it was just such a critical element for stealth, and was just a non-issue in a sense. And that's a good example of doing that. Now here's the not so good example. Killing Floor 2, and the reason I'm saying not so good is that Tripwire Interactive is famous for post-release support of Killing Floor 1. And I'm very sure they are working on things, and things may change in the coming weeks or months. So in the game, you have the different perks: Firebug, Demolitionist, Gunslinger, Sharpshooter, you name it. The perks themselves give you essentially 3 unique features. The first is each perk, except for Scavenger, has guns and weapons that are considered perk weapons. These are weapons that you use that will be modified by your perk level or by perk bonuses. The second thing each perk has is a set of passive bonuses that are unique or universal to that specific perk. So the Firebug perk gets increased fire damage. The Sharpshooter perk gets increased headshot. Gunslinger gets reduced recoil. And these passives are enhanced by whatever your level is. So let's say with the Sharpshooter, let's say the perk is 1% of increased headshot damage per level. What that means is if I'm at level 10, I do 10% more damage. Level 15, you get the picture. And then the third thing that the perks do is every 5 levels you get to choose one of 2 essentially super perks, and they're related to the actual perk itself. So for instance, the Gunslinger perk at level, I want to say 15 if I remember off the top of my head, you get the choice of either enhanced stopping power with your guns, the ability to knock enemies down or slow them down quicker, or you get the ability that if you shoot an enemy in the head, it just automatically will just give them a flat speed debuff. Now these are of course major benefits, and they're used to define how you play that specific perk. Now the problem though is that once again we have a case of a pure upgrade, and that's in the form of damage. Because as you level up your damage actually increases, this becomes a way of intentionally making the game more challenging at the beginning and also punishing players for trying the higher difficulties. Again, 1% doesn't sound all that impressive, but when you're at full level and you have 25% more damage, this all kind of rolls into each other. And this is another major interesting part about game design. One little choice can have a ripple effect in all elements of your game. So with Killing Floor 2, it works like this. The more damage I can do means the quicker I can kill enemies. Quicker I can kill enemies means I'm spending less on bullets. Spending less on bullets means not only am I able to get a higher score, it means I can get my better weapons quicker, which means I'm easier to survive, which means I get more kills, which means I get more money, and again, we have a cycle present. And more importantly, this also punishes low-level players. The game says that you should play on normal, hard, suicidal, and then hell on earth, or I may be confusing those difficulties in that order due to the rank. But again, it's an arbitrary and abstracted way of limiting new players. You could be the best damn first-person shooter player in all of Killing Floor 2, but if you're using a level 3 perk, you are going to be woefully underclassed compared to someone who may not be as good at shooting as you, but is fully ranked at level 25 in their own specific perk. And again, this is the danger of persistence mechanics when they are used to essentially gate content or prevent players from really being able to interact with other ones. Again, if you're going to make use of persistence mechanics, they should be either side grades or present interesting choices. Call of Duty's multiplayer with its perk system and all the mods is a really good example of that. And one of these days, I really need to dedicate some time and talk more about Call of Duty. But it is getting late here, and it's getting late in this video, so let's wrap things up. For those of you watching, do you have any good examples of persistence mechanics that you can think of? And can you think of any games that failed or didn't provide a good progression mechanic with their persistence systems? Again, you should be given a wide variety of choices. It shouldn't be pigeonholed down. You either get the skill or you're useless. And I'm sure, as we've been seeing over the last few years, with the idea of long-term game design and games as a service, these kinds of persistence elements are going to become more and more popular. We're already seeing a lot of them in free-to-play and multiplayer kind of titles. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of it, because when it works, it can greatly extend the replayability and keep a community going and growing. Payday 2, Team Fortress, League of Legends are very big examples of that. And it's also kind of why, on the flip side, games like Left 4 Dead haven't really like catched on or have sustained itself much in the way these other games did. For a while, I was talking and dreaming of them adding more persistence to the Left 4 Dead universe and with rewards. I thought that would greatly enhance things. But unfortunately, they didn't, and then they went on to do Evolve, which my copy, I think it's somewhere shelved at the moment. The game right now is DOA. And like I said, I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with Killing Floor 2 over the coming weeks and months with the game out of early access. For those of you who don't visit Game Wisdom, my review of Killing Floor 2 is now up. Be sure to take a look at that if you want to hear more of my thoughts, and I may try to make some videos and see how things go. But let's wrap it up here. As always, once again, thank you so much for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, there won't be a Game Wisdom Live for Thanksgiving. I should have a little video up though. And like I said, I hope everyone's enjoying the content here. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more great content here and on GameWisdom.com. Have a great rest of the night, and like I said, get your votes in by tomorrow. And other than that, I'm Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com, where we examine the art and science of games. Have a great night, and hopefully, like I said, have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and of course share with your friends. It always helps out. For daily posts on all manner of game design and industry topics, check out game-wisdom.com. To support the site and everything that I do, be sure to check out the Patreon campaign. If we can hit goals, it will mean more content for everyone to enjoy, and I'll be able to support myself and my household. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at GWBycer for updates throughout the day and random thoughts from me. And lastly, you can find me on Twitch right over there at GWBycer for daily streams most nights around 10 Eastern. Thanks again for watching the video, and be sure to check out more great content coming to the Game Wisdom channel real soon.